Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be going over some common Pyraminx mistakes. Now this is as kind of part of a mini-series, so I've gone over common mistakes beginners make, common intermediate mistakes, and now we're going to be going over common advanced mistakes. And what you'll find with these is they're a lot more specific and they're not as much about the fundamentals of the solve like they were with the beginner and intermediate videos. If you're advanced, if you're sub 3, sub 2.5, or kind of pushing really down low into those 2-second averages, pushing on world class, but not quite there, I'm expecting that most of the fundamental things in your solve are good. Your V solutions are good, your algorithms are good, your finger tricks are good, most of that kind of stuff. So what we're going to be going over today is the other common mistakes that are not as obvious, that are kind of around other aspects of the solve, and are not super obvious from the outset. So let's get into it. The next common mistake that I want to talk about is a bit of a funny one, and it's basically using alternate L4E algorithms that aren't actually optimal, that don't save you any moves, and in some cases cost you moves. So here's an example. So for this case, where you basically have to do the standard algorithm, like this, and then a AUF in the way that the V was. So the V color was here and you have to do that AUF. Now, there might be some people going, oh, well, actually what you can do in this case is insert this like this, follow through to doing the 2 flip here, and no AUF. And that's great. It does mean you don't have to do an AUF. But it also means you have to do one extra move. So really, it would just be worth doing the standard algorithm and then doing the AUF, because that is one less move than doing the alternate algorithm, which is also really awkward for finger tricks. So if you're going to use alternate algorithms, which you should be doing, they are really useful, just make sure they are actually worth it and you're not just doing it for the sake of it. The next common mistake that I want to talk about is being lazy with one looking. And the way this usually happens is in a case like this, where there are 2 ways you can do the V, right? So it's 2 move V, we put this down and we put this down, but we can do it in either order. Now, what a lot of people will do is one look one of them. So we'll one look this going down first, and we'll be like, okay, that's a pretty bad case, so we'll one look the other one, and then we'll see what case that is. And that's great, right? The issue is when you one look one of them and it's a pretty good case and you're like, yeah, that'll be good enough. That's going to be like a 1.5 second solve. That's great. I'll just do that. But you could be missing out on a really good solve if you just one look the other one. So don't be thinking this solve will be good enough, because you miss out on really good solves if you do that. Instead, if you get a case like this, you should be one looking both solutions regardless of how good the first solution is. The next advanced mistake that I want to talk about is thinking too rigidly when it comes to ML4E. So this is something that I definitely did when I first learned ML4E, and this is a useful example. So it's literally a 1 move V, right? Just literally make this. And it obviously makes sense to do it like this rather than to do it with your empty slot to the front, because you'd have to do a B move. And also you get this ML4E, which is really nice. However, you'd have to do your first 3 moves as down, down, up, which, it's just terrible. I don't like it. Maybe you can do it really well, but for me, that really doesn't work. So for me, it would have been better to do it like this, because that L4E is really nice. And this gets to the issue of your turning style is going to be different from other people, and maybe some people would do it with the ML4E, some people would do it with L4E. The point is, ML4E isn't always better, even if it means that you then have to do your V a bit weirdly if it gets you a really nice L4E. So just remember to think about the whole solve and think about whether using ML4E is actually going to help you and make you faster in this case. The last common mistake that I want to talk about is not eating and drinking enough at competitions. Oh yes, it's not a proper Tigers Cats cubing video if I don't get to shoehorn in a little bit of competition advice. Listen, go and watch this video and then do the things that it says to do. Do as it says, okay? It's very easy in Pyraminx to go from a 2-second average to a 3-second average, right? A few silly little mistakes and your official average is not good anymore for your standards, right? A big reason why this might be happening to you in competitions is because you're not staying fueled. You're not in a good state. Even if you feel like you are, you're not, right? So get good competition technique, right? Focus on competition technique. There's no point in shaving off and really focusing on the 0.1s of seconds of your global average if you can't then go and do it in a competition. So there we are. Hopefully this video was useful for you. If you want to watch beginner mistakes, you can click here. And if you want to watch intermediate mistakes, then you can click here.